The Georgia Bulldogs did not win the national title last season, but they were the breakthrough team in college football. Georgia had been struggling for several seasons and had not played for a national title since the 1983 Sugar Bowl against Penn State. That 35-year drought ended in January when Georgia took the field against Alabama. Many people think Georgia will fight Alabama for many years to come in the SEC, which suggests that surpassing their regular season win total of 10.5 games is more likely than not. The Bulldogs put all the pieces together last year, and they did so despite an injury to their starting quarterback, Jacob Eason, in the season opener. Freshman Jake Fromm stepped in, playing cool, calm, and with poise, and allowing his offensive line to do the work in front of him. Fromm and Georgia escaped Notre Dame in Week 2 of the season with a 1-point win in South Bend. That was the game which catapulted Georgia to the next level. Had the Bulldogs lost that game, they probably would not have entered November unbeaten. Even though they lost at Auburn, they won the SEC East and gained a rematch with Auburn in the SEC championship game, which they won to make the college football playoff game. Georgia then beat Oklahoma in double overtime in a classic Rose Bowl after trailing by as many as 17 points. The Bulldogs used a huge third-quarter rally and a blocked field goal in double overtime to overtake the Sooners. They led Alabama in overtime of the title game and had Alabama in second down and 27 from the 42nd-yard line. But then the secondary broke down and allowed a 42-yard touchdown pass to lose the game. That should motivate the Georgia Bulldogs even more this season. The Bulldogs will likely be worse in terms of their conference championship status and their college football playoff prospects, because they will probably face Alabama in the SEC title game instead of Auburn. That means their hold on the SEC title is not likely to remain in place, and neither is their hold on a spot in the college football playoffs. Georgia will still be a very good team, but this team will have to replace two great running backs, Nick Chubb and Sony Mitchell, while also losing linebacker Roquan Smith, who was so essential to everything the Georgia defense tried to do. So many cornerstone players have left for the NFL that it puts Georgia in a really difficult position. The Bulldogs will still be able to make a legitimate run at 11 regular season wins because of an elite recruiting class which was right there with Alabama's at the top of the list. But that talent is still raw and might need a year of seasoning. Jake Fromm is more experienced this year, which is a big plus, but he probably cannot make up for all the team's new limitations. Georgia gets Auburn at home, which is a plus. Georgia has to play a Florida team with a new coach, Dan Mullen, who might be a better coach than the Gators' previous boss, Jim McElwain. That's a minus for the Bulldogs. The wild card is a road game at LSU, a team which typically has a lot of talent, but was not coached well last year. If Georgia beats LSU, they probably will win 11 games, even with a loss to Alabama in the SEC title game. If Georgia loses to LSU, they probably will not make 10 wins. Ultimately, we don't see Georgia defending their SEC title, but they should still get the 11 wins with a win at LSU. Take the over, even though UGA is not likely to return to the college football playoff this season. For more information and statistics on this event and every other sporting event this week, check out bangthebook.com. Bang the Book is your best resource for sports betting information before you make your weekly assault on the sports books.